What is going on, wrestling fans? It is WWE at Home 219 here with my Raw review from July 29th, 2013. I'm a day late with this Raw review because I kind of left my house when the main event was going on. So that's another grade that won't be really official, I guess you could say, because I didn't get to watch fully the Ryback versus John Cena match. But nonetheless, let's get on to this Raw review. So Raw would kick off with Vinnie Mac and Maddox coming out to talk to the WWE Universe. Basically, it's just Vince saying that Daniel Bryan doesn't have what it takes to beat John Cena, so Daniel Bryan would come out. Daniel Bryan would say Vince is putting words into Maddox's mouth, and that Vince would just basically, like I said, tell Daniel Bryan he is never going to be the face of the company and he'll never beat John Cena. He calls Daniel Bryan an embarrassment if he were to win that title at SummerSlam. It's basically just vintage heel Vince McMahon. It was a pretty good segment for Vince. Otherwise, I wasn't really into it that much. I'll give it a C just because it was just average way to start off Monday Night Raw. So then we see the Shield take on Mark Henry and the Usos. This match has kind of been building over the past couple weeks. It was pretty much a dead crowd. I know this wasn't live. I found out halfway through the show that this show was not live. But the crowd was pretty dead throughout the whole entire show. Henry took control before the break. Ambrose actually would be the reason the Shield would win this matchup as he would hit his finisher on one of the Usos. It was an okay matchup. I'll give it a C as we see the Shield continue to, I guess you could say, continue their momentum, even though they really haven't had worthy opponents these past couple months. So then the next matchup would be RVD taking on Fandango. RVD is so unique in the ring. It's good to see him back. I'm just not a big fan of Fandango. I feel like he botches a lot. Fandango would end up leaving during this matchup, basically saying it's not worth his time, so RVD would win via countout. It was an average matchup once again. Seemed to be the theme of tonight, just average. And I'll give it a C as well. Then we see a Divas Championship rematch for Money in the Bank and Payback. AJ Lee, the Divas Champion, taking on Caitlyn. The only two Divas basically that actually I think are worth watching. A Spear would win it though for Caitlyn. I was very surprised she picked up the victory here. And we'd see basically AJ throw a fit afterwards. It was an okay matchup for Divas. I'll give it a D+. And then we'd see Dolph Ziggler right after that come out, and so that would turn into a match against Big E. I thought they were going to save this for SummerSlam. Who knows? They still could. But I'm surprised they did it on Raw. Big E was in control mainly throughout this whole matchup, and then Ziggler was gaining momentum, and then AJ would start attacking Dolph Ziggler. So basically, Dolph Ziggler picks up the win here, even though AJ interferes. There wasn't much of a matchup here. Dolph Ziggler, the best seller in the WWE, was selling a lot of Big E's moves well. I'll give this match a C-. Then this would lead us into Christian versus Alberto Del Rio, the World Heavyweight Champion. Christian's acting always makes me laugh. He sells everything pretty well. It was a solid matchup, back and forth. A sneaky cover, though, would win it for Christian as we see Del Rio lose once again. Del Rio gets to pick his opponent for SummerSlam on SmackDown this Friday. Actually, the taping's tonight. So I'm very interested to see who he picks. Maybe Christian could be that guy. Who knows? But this matchup was pretty good. Sadly, probably the best matchup of the night. I'll give it a C+. And then this would take us in. It seemed like there was a lot of wrestling matches, not a lot of promos, I might add today. Last night, I should say. Wade Barrett would take on Cody Rhodes next. Basically, there was only one cool spot, and that was the moonsault from Cody Rhodes. Crossroads, though, would win it. And it was an okay matchup once again. Just an okay matchup here on Raw. I'll give it a C. As we see Cody Rhodes continue the momentum he has. And then this would lead us into one of the two main events. They were calling it Daniel Bryan versus Kane. It was a back and forth matchup. The roll up out of the choke slam, though, would win it for Daniel Bryan. This was a pretty decent matchup as we see Daniel Bryan just continue his winning streak against his former tag team partner. And I'll give that matchup a C+. And then after that, the Wyatt family would attack Kane. Whenever that happens, I just give it an A+, because the Wyatt family is just genius. Then we'd see another Divas match, kind of pointless. Brie Bella versus Natalya. Nikki would come out and make duck noises on a kazoo, and that would cause Brie Bella to win. I'm going to give it an F. It was very pointless. And then another matchup, Curtis Axel, Intercontinental Champion, taking on R-Truth. Punk would end up coming out and interfering in this matchup, so R-Truth technically gets the win here, and Punk would try to go after Heyman, but that Heyman would escape. This is just prolonging this feud that Heyman has with Punk. And I guess you could say it kind of deals with the Brock Lesnar thing too, because Heyman's Brock Lesnar's manager. I'll give that Axel Truth thing a D+, but it was nice to see Punk. And then John Cena and Ryback, like I said, I left in that matchup. I can't really give it a grade. I know John Cena won with the AA through the table. That's pretty much expected. But Raw, very pointless. Not much to miss. It wasn't live, so that kind of took it. It might not seem like it could take anything away from it, but me as a fan, I don't like shows that are taped. I like it live. It makes things a lot more interesting, in my opinion. Raw overall, though, I will give a D plus. Just a lack of excitement there. So follow me on Twitter at Let's Talk _WWE. Give me your comments on what you thought about Monday Night Raw, and take it easy.